Welcome back to the Prof G and Shively Next Play podcast, episode 11. Matt, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Jason.
We're like on location here. I feel like we're broadcasting from somewhere, but really we're just broadcasting from our parking lot.
It's the best place to broadcast from.
Right?
It's real.
Sometimes, we're dedicated to this thing, and sometimes that means we meet in parking lots.
We're out there in the world.
Exactly.
Where the coming and going
Not
happens.
of the world.
Not of the world.
Just in it.
In it.
Yep. So today's show, it's going to be a little bit different. So we spent some time interviewing head coach BJ Letcher from men's basketball, kind of a season preview with him. Had a great conversation with him, and we're basically just going to kind of play the interview in its entirety, and then we'll do our reactions and kind of give you our thoughts on the season. But here's our conversation. Right, we're sitting here with head coach BJ Letcher from the Justice University men's basketball program. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I appreciate you guys taking time.
Absolutely. So you had a great season last year, first kind of a breakout season for your program last year. So kind of go over what you learned last year, kind of some takeaways you had from last season and what you can kind of take forward into this year.
Right. From last year, I kind of learned that the season's kind of broken down into three parts. The early part of the season where you're trying to get your bearings about you, trying to figure out what you have. Then there's a team right around Christmas, right when the semester ends, if we have a couple kids sitting out or, trying to incorporate those guys. And then last year was the first year we actually had a postseason. And so just getting the guys getting prepared for the postseason because it kind of extends the season by a month and a half. So that's kind of what I learned last year, just that it is a very long process and, it's not where you start, but it's kind of where you finish. And the guys you think that you're going to rely on at the beginning might not be there in the end. So just be open to different lineups and kind of mix and match and try to just figure it out as you go.
What was that experience like for you, to having a postseason with this program that you've basically built from day one, to be able to go and not just for the conference, but to actually go national this time?
Yeah, it was awesome. To gain more exposure for Justice University, for myself to just know a little bit more about the NCCAA conference and how big it was. I was kind of surprised because on the West Coast, there's not a lot of teams and everything, but like in the Midwest and back East, it is a pretty big deal. And just the hospitality of the town of Branson, Missouri, and hosting us and the celebration of it and everything else, it was a great experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've talked to several of the students, and they were very. It was a cool experience for them that they were new at it. Obviously, never had the opportunity before, but what a cool thing to be able to travel across the country, just even to do that as a team and have that experience. Obviously, it didn't end it the way you wanted it to, but
right.
Just that experience after playing on carpet year one.
Right.
It's kind of a big turnaround.
Right.
So
huge.
Every team obviously is going to face its unique challenges and strengths. So your team, what do you think are like the strengths of your team or areas where you may excel this season?
I think our athleticism is really, really high for especially for this level. Our experience as well. We have some older guys. We have Dante Landis and J.D. Cameron and J.D. Walker and Devin Miller that have been with us since their freshman year. Now they're juniors. And so just the experience of it all. And then our athleticism. We're going to play small. We're going to play fast. I think that's more of our strengths. In the years past, we had some big, some 6'10", centers that we try to play through and whatnot. So this year we're going to just try to get out and be more defensive minded and play with tempo and pace.
Yeah. So that's kind of where the game of basketball is going anyway, right? The kind of running again, 3-point shooting. You're seeing less and less of the post up, running it through the center in today's environment. So that seems like a good move. Any key additions or anything this year that you would highlight? Or I know everybody that you bring in is obviously good in your mind because you're bringing him here.
Right. Ray King, played for us a couple years ago, and he's back, right? And he was our leading scorer 2 years ago. And then Demetrius Valdez had knee surgery last year. He was actually our leading scorer a year ago. And then Jimmy's going to man the fort down low. He's like a 6'7" hybrided big. Can get out and run and really athletic. And then Dante Landis has come around. I know he's battling back from injuries, but he put in a lot of time and effort over the summer, and I think he's going to be really, really good for us.
That's awesome. I always love to watch over the summer when you're doing your signings and your committeds on social media. It's kind of cool to say, oh, what's this guy going to be like? I can't wait to see them play. So,
right.
So beyond wins and losses, which is obviously your primary goal, what else do you have as goals for your team, like player development, team culture, quality overall experience for the student athletes, just in general? What other goals do you have?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the wins. I'm a competitor. I want to win, but more importantly, just shifting the culture, right, and building a culture. It's been a struggle at the beginning, just building a college basketball team. So at the beginning, you'd kind of just take whatever you can get to kind of build anything, just a team, and then this is year 5 for me. So right around year 2, year 3, you kind of figure out what kind of culture you want and the players on your team and everything else. So this year was big on just building more of a united culture, more of a team culture, more of a culture that's going to class, that are doing the right things, that are just good young men and everything else. I think that's a big part of why I do this and everything else, is to try to develop young men into men and servant leaders in their community and great fathers, and just try to teach them hard work, discipline, and accountability in their in 19 and in their 20s and everything. So.
Yeah, and I can, just from a professor standpoint, I can see the difference in some of the new guys you brought in. They're in class, and I'm not having to chase after them. Every college student struggles with doing their work sometimes, but when their butts are in the seats, that's half the battle.
Right.
Just getting them there. So
right.
I can see that character change as well, like you're talking about. So with a new season comes some new opponents. You're playing some bigger programs this season. You're traveling out of state once again. Are there any matchups you want to highlight, or maybe periods of the schedule that you have circled as like crucial or must win, or this is great for our development, or whatever you want to highlight?
Yeah, I think any in-state NAIA teams are big in terms of the next step for Justice University basketball. Kind of got to, we started playing these universities 2 years ago. I think we only had 2. Last year we had six NAIA games, and we were kind of just happy to be playing them. This year, all of those games are huge in terms of trying to beat those teams and everything from a recruiting standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these guys are all in our backyard, and kids have an option between universities, and they usually want to go with the winning universities. So I feel like the in-state NAIA games are some of the biggest ones. Obviously,
so that'd be like your Park, your Benedictine, maybe Ottawa.
I think we have
ACU.
Park, Ottawa twice, Emory Riddle twice.
Emory Riddle, yep.
And we scrimmage ACU, and obviously Nelson, who's in our conference.
Sure.
But yeah, those are the big ones when it comes down to recruiting and being able to say, we beat that team and everything else. And then I think a big one's always the Division I games, the Idaho State, the Utah Tech. Those are all big. I think they're on ESPN. I mean, those for the players, those are big deals and everything. I mean, for me too, to be on ESPN Plus last year playing Weber State, just as you brought up earlier, to think about the maturation of where we came from with the carpet and playing in a club league to being on ESPN playing Weber State. Sometimes it's surreal, getting ready to warm up and playing against those
big arenas are a little bit different than I know this gym gets loud when people get loud,
right.
But those big arenas must be a shock to the system.
Yeah, those arenas are, we're here now, baby. Yep. So but yeah,
we're good. And then you have, I think you have a couple D2s or 3s as well. And West Texas is in there.
We have West Texas, who's always one of the top D2s in the nation, and then we have Angelo State that I heard they're pretty loaded this year, and so those will be good tests. I think it's imperative for our team to get off to a faster start. We struggled with faster starts and everything. It's really built our team for the end of the season. But like last year, we went on a stretch where, it was a long stretch of losses and everything else. So to keep the morale going this year, the beginning of the season is imperative for us to win a couple of these early on games.
Yeah. Last question for you. We have a lot of fans that come out and support you guys, and now we have the ability for them to watch online. So what message would you send to the fans that are watching and what they can expect from your team, and maybe things to look for this season, how they can support you?
Oh yeah. I mean, we appreciate all the support. What you guys can look forward to is some energetic basketball, fun basketball. We're going to go out there and compete, and we're going to, represent Justice University the best we can. And through the wins and through the losses and everything else, we'll be a really fun and exciting team to watch.
High flying, I hope. I like those highlights when calling the game.
High flying, and we're going to be.
I promised some of your players some nicknames this year, so we got to have them do some stuff. So.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to share before we wrap up this conversation?
No, we appreciate your support, Jason, and we look forward to a fun and exciting season. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for hanging out with us. Head coach BJ Letcher of Justice University men's basketball. First home game is November 13th. Does that sound right?
November 13th and 14th.
13th and 14th, back to back.
Yep, and not this Friday, but the following Friday, we're up in Flagstaff battling it out with NAU.
NAU, so that would be about the 7th?
Is that 7th, right?
7th of November. So is that one televised, do you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Probably not on ESPN or anything, but it would be. Is it an exhibition or is it accountable?
No, it's accountable. It's a accountable game. So
beautiful. So yeah, NAU on the 7th, and if not, then get down here on the 13th and 14th and support the Lions. Have a great day. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you so much.
All right, Matt. Well, lots of stuff to unpack in that conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
As you said earlier, he's a good interview.
He is.
Very thorough on the answers.
Definitely. I like what he said about just kind of the three pieces to the season. I thought that was really interesting. Noticing you are that first third is you are really just figuring out what you have. And then there is some attrition and some people that come back in after the holiday that were either injured or even transfers and things like that had to sit out. And then you get to see what you have going forward, and then that postseason play. So they had a great run to kind of base things on last year and to maybe make some adjustments also. So it'll be exciting. That he referenced the first stretch of games he outkicked his coverage a little bit with some of those early games, and they really got their butts handed to him. But that really set a foundation for what came in the postseason.
Yeah, he didn't make it any easier this year either.
He did not.
He's got a few D1 games and a couple D2s and several NAIA.
Yeah.
Kicking off actually. So this podcast will go out Thursday morning. Kicking off actually Friday night at NAU.
Right. And that Embry-Riddle, was that a scrimmage?
I honestly don't know if that's countable or not. I'll have to look. I mean,
okay.
I know that
they did play Embry-Riddle. They did have a scrimmage out in New Mexico.
I want to say it was a scrimmage against Embry-Riddle, but I could be wrong. It could have been countable for...
I thought that might have been one of the two he referenced against Embry-Riddle that we've already had. And then, like you said, Friday, there's a big game up in Flagstaff against NAU. And your interview talked about he wasn't sure, but we got confirmation it should be on ESPN+.
So tune in if you're a Lions loyal. There's more experienced broadcasters than us handling that game, but I wish I was up there with them and
absolutely
checking it out. Unfortunately, early Saturday commitments prohibit me from heading up. So if you're not heading up the mountain, check out ESPN Plus and support the Lions. But yeah, I was really just kind of intrigued by the number of new faces. You know, he kind of talked about the new people that have come in and trying to figure out whose role is going to be what and where people are going to fit, and that'll be what he spends the first little part of the season doing. And it's nice for him to have kind of a selection, I think, especially if it comes to injuries and stuff like that. He's got some backup guys that are still good players that may not be on the official L1 team to start the season.
He should, yeah. And that's the sense of having so many basketball players at Justice. You do have a little bit of a feeder team with the L2 and even the L3 that injuries happen, players start to rise. And so it'd be exciting to see. I'm excited to see some of, a lot of the new people he referenced aren't really new. They just haven't been playing in a while for us. Like like Ray King, for example. We know what we have in him. He was a leading scorer a couple seasons ago. Meach was out all of last year.
Demetrius Valdez.
For
those that don't know Meach.
Yeah. We call him Meach. And then he mentioned Jimmy, and I don't think he even gave us a last name there, but Jimmy is new. So I'm excited to see what Jimmy has to bring to the table.
It sounds like he's changed his offense a bit too. From the conversation, he sounds like he's been going, rather than trying to go through a center, he's going to run it pretty quickly. Small ball a lot of the time.
Right.
There's a couple of good big men that are there as well, but from what it sounds like, they're athletic big men, and they can run and keep tempo and things like that. So.
Probably your biggest kind of muscle down there might be Mo. Perhaps I'm not sure like how much playing time he'll get early on if they're going to play small with a stretch.
It's kind of a guess right now. We're kind of going on what students have talked about, and
I know there's a few like Dante. I don't know if he's going to be ready for a while, so he might
battling a foot injury.
Yeah, he might be out for a while. He's one of the bigs he did mention, and then I know Vonti's coming back from an injury too. There's a few others. So
it's nice to play a little small ball. Today's basketball environment in general, whether it's college or pro, is very three-point shooting centric and very
athletic.
Play on the wings and play athletically, and so good to have those people in line for that. So we're excited. So NAU Friday, and then we'll get kicked off. You'll be broadcasting a couple games next week without me.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit bummed, but I'll be floating on a cruise ship, so I'm not that bummed.
You're not that bummed. Thursday for sure. Trying to figure out Friday.
That car's excited about the game next week.
That's a shout out. Hey, they're a fan. I saw the sticker on the car.
They had a big Lions sticker on the car.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We need big Lions stickers or something for things.
Yeah, for sure. The 13th we'll be going. 14th. I know there's also women's soccer.
And that's a championship.
That's a championship and a senior night and all these things. So we might have to make a decision on that one. We'll have to see.
You're not available 24/7 all the time?
I cannot commit.
You're like you have a job and a family or something too.
But it's and it's a Friday, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I have a daughter who competes in dance sometimes, so we'll have to see how it all
always got to be dead first, man.
But Thursday, we'll be there.
So tune in Friday night at NAU, then next Thursday on the YouTube channel. If you don't already subscribe to that, do that and hit that notification bell so you're aware of the broadcasts as they come up. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And appreciate you tuning in, Matt. Nice and short today, but great interview with Coach BJ, so that's okay.
Absolutely.
And we'll catch everybody next time.
Peace.